Hello listeners, this video is on A Raisin in the Sun written by Lorraine Hansberry. Lorraine Hansberry, she was a playwright and a writer. She was born in the year 1930 and died in the year 1965. She was the first American African writer whose play was first performed in Broadway. Her best known work is a play, A Raisin in the Sun, which highlights the lives of Black Americans in Chicago living under the racial segregation. A Raisin in the Sun was first written as a play in the year 1959, and then it was screenplayed as A Raisin in the Sun in the year 1961. Few other popular works of Lorraine are On Summer, The Drinking Gout, What Use Are Flowers, The Sign in Sidney Brustain's Window. Let us have an overview of this play, A Raisin in the Sun. This was first debuted on Broadway in the year 1959. The title of this play, A Raisin in the Sun, comes from Langston Hughes' poem named Harlem. The poem is also known as A Dream Deferred. The story of this play is about a Black family who experiences racial discrimination in South Chicago. The family was attempting to improve their financial circumstances with an insurance payment followed by the death of their father. As the family desires to move to a white residence, they happen to face housing discrimination, racism, and assimilation. The New York Drama Critics Circle then named this play as the best play of 1959. And in the recent years, publications such as The Independent and Time Out have listed this play amongst the best plays ever written. The Independent is a British online newspaper. Time Out is a global magazine published by Time Out Group, which is also based in London. Let us see the characters in the play. Lena Younger, who is the matriarch of the Younger family, meaning the mother of the Younger family. She is commonly referred as Mama. She is the mother of Walter Lee and Benita and the grandmother of Travis. Walter Lee Younger. Walter is the oldest child of Lena and the brother of Benita. Walter is married to Ruth. They have a child named Travis. Benita Younger. Benita is nicknamed as Benny. Benita is Mama's daughter and the younger sister of Walter. She is a 20-year-old college student who has a dream of becoming a doctor. Ruth Younger is a wife of Walter Lee. Travis Younger is the son of Walter Lee and Ruth. He is the youngest member in the family. Joseph Asage. He is a Nigerian man who studies in Chicago. Benita met Asage on her college campus. Asage takes great pride in his African heritage. George Murchison. He is a wealthy young man who dates Benita. Carl Linder, who's the only white character to appear on set during the play. He is the representative of the Claiborne Park Improvement Association. Mrs. Johnson. Mrs. Johnson is a neighbor of the Youngers family in the apartment in Chicago's South Side. Walter Younger, otherwise called as Big Walter, who is Lena's younger, recently deceased husband and the father of Walter Lee and Benita. After the death of Walter, the family receives an insurance payment of $10,000. Willie Harris. Willie Harris never appears in the play on stage. He is Walter Lee's friend and a business partner. The play has 3 acts. Act 1 has 2 scenes. Act 2 has 3 scenes. Act 3 has 1 scene. This video lecture will have the entire summary of the play. A Raisin in the Sun examines the effects of racial prejudice on the fulfillment of an African American family's dream. The play centers the family of Younger. Youngers are a family of a working class. They live in Chicago's South Side during the mid 20th century. Shortly before the play has begun, the head of the Younger family, that is Big Walter, he dies. He leaves the family to inherit a $10,000 life insurance payment. The family is very eager and awaits to the arrival of the insurance check. The family also believes that this insurance check has the potential to make the family's long deferred dreams into reality. However, the family members have conflicting ideas on how to use this insurance payment. They have too much of conflicting ideas regarding the best use for the money, and those conflicting ideas and dreams causes much tension. At the beginning of the play, Mama, the wife of Big Walter, expresses uncertainty regarding the best use for the money. Mama tells Ruth, Ruth is the daughter-in-law of Mama, that she and her late husband shared the dream of owning a own house. But their dream did not get fulfilled due to poverty and racism. Their whole lifetime passed without fulfilling their dream. Binita, the daughter of Mama, she aspires to attend medical school and to become a doctor. And for a African American women, it is much challenging to become a doctor at that time. Binita's older brother Walter Lee dismisses the dream of his sister. Instead, he suggests that she simply has to get married. Walter also has another dream of using the insurance payment as an investment in his liquor store, which is an idea that Mama and his wife Ruth dislike. Ruth, the daughter-in-law of the family, is much worried about her troubled marriage and the family's cramped living situation. Ruth is much confused of whom to support. She partially supports Mama's hope of having a new house of their own. Also, she partially supports to the willingness of her husband's dream. Walter, he finds his job as a white man's chauffeur. Chauffeur is a person whose job is to drive a car for somebody else. Walter is not satisfied with his job because he thinks that his job causes him to lose his dignity and respect. He only finds that the liquor store investment would give him better future. On the same day the insurance check arrives, Ruth finds out that she is pregnant, which makes her question whether the family can afford to raise their another child. Knowing that Ruth is considering an abortion, but Mama begs Walter to convince his wife to keep the baby. Walter is unable to say anything and he leaves the apartment. As Mama watches her family falling apart, she makes a decision to place a down payment on a home in the white neighborhood of Clybourne Park, hoping that her choice of idea will bring the family together. But Mama's decision to purchase a house only sends Walter deeper into despair because he could not get an opportunity to fulfill his own desire. On the other hand, the new house fills Ruth with joy and a new hope for the entire family. And the new hope and joy helps her to imagine the possibility of a happy future for her unborn child. Several weeks later, Walter feels depressed and distressed. He skips to work for almost 3 days. As Mama realizes that Walter is depressed, she decides to transfer control of the household and the rest of the insurance money to Walter, asking to set aside a portion of amount for Benita's schooling. A week later, when the family was ready to move to the new house, Carl Linder arrives and tells them that there is a new offer if they avoid to move to the white residence, because the house that they have bought is the residence of the white people. Carl Linder tells them that they have a new offer of buying a house in the neighborhood where the house is too cheap, and they also have an offer of buying it. But the family confidently refuses the offer. Moreover, there was another issue that disappoints Walter. When Walter's friend Bobo informs him of the disappearance of Willie Harris, who disappeared with the investment amount of Walter's liquor store. Without listening to Mama's advice, Walter had invested one third of the insurance money in the liquor store, and the loss leaves the family on the brink of financial ruin. An hour later, the Nigerian student named Joseph Asage, he visits Benita and finds her distraught over the lost money. Listening to her, Asage, he asks Benita to marry him and come home to Africa with him. Benita could not consider his proposal and tells him that she needs some time. Soon after, Walter informs Carl Linder that he will accept Carl Linder's offer, and this greatly disappoints the family members. But again, when Carl Linder arrives and bargains with the offer, Walter reclaims his dignity and refuses Linder's offer. The whole family decided to move to the new house where the white people stay, and they refused to agree with any offer provided by the white community. Let us see the themes of this play. Dreams. Dreams are possessed by everyone, and here in this play, dreams plays a major role in A Raisin in the Sun, because the whole family had a dream of having a new house and to become a doctor and to own a liquor shop. Considering Ruth's dream, she wanted to have a dignified lifestyle with her family. Next theme is dignity and pride. The younger household, they have a central virtue of dignity and pride, because when the white community wanted to move afar from their neighborhood, this African American family stood with their own decision of never accepting any offer provided by the white society. Race, discrimination, and assimilation. In 1959, in the United States, including Chicago, the African American people were facing racial segregation in education, employment, and also in housing. In the play, the family also experiences housing discrimination in 1930s Chicago. Also, Walter's sister had a big dream of becoming a doctor. Becoming a doctor is forbidden in African American society among the white community. Next theme is money. Money plays a major role in this family because there were many conflict happening in the family among the younger household. In the play, there were a repetition of this phrase, check coming today. So this was a question that was inquired among the family members before the insurance payment could arrive. Hope this video helps. If you have query, please write it down on the comment below. Thank you for listening.